Imagine that you're so disillusioned with dating. You've given up so much with it, and yet you want to be in a relationship of some sort. Well, imagine no more. The picture you're seeing is a bird, and I'm pretty sure she's from Brazil. She'd given up on the idea of ever finding a partner, so she just basically made her own. Yes, what she's married is a ragdoll. You might find that a bit odd. You might even think it's insane, because it is. It's absolutely bonkers. However, they've had kids together, and you might wonder how that one had happened. And she said the kids have become a bit of a strain on the relationship, seeing as she has to provide for all of them. Well, what a modern woman. And here's a picture. Yes, they're little ragdolls, all right? I'm wondering just how much maintenance a ragdoll needs in a month. I mean, what sort of expense do you have to outlay? Have all the little ragdolls got their own little house, which means that she'd have to get themselves a larger house? I'd imagine shopping would be a bit of a pickle, really. A bit of a drag, you know what I mean? I should imagine there's 2 shopping trolleys. One for your goods and one for the kids and the other half. Yeah, and then going on holiday, I can imagine that being a bit of a trying situation. I mean, how do you get a passport for 3 ragdolls? What was it for? I didn't look at the picture too long. I was kind of a bit shocked, really. But let's step back from Mr. and Mrs. Ragdoll, or whatever the name is going to be. I don't care either. There was a woman that married herself. That's right. And then there's other people that have had intimate relationships with a tree. I'm not talking chopping the tree down and shaping it into something that can be used, you know what I mean? No, I'm talking about an actual tree. And then there were other people that went out and had sex with wildlife. And I'm talking greenery, not actually fluffies and stuff like that, because I think that would be more of a crime. Although I would suggest rubbing your vag viciously, hard and often against the bark of a tree would actually be some sort of crime, although I'm not quite sure which one legal aid needed on this one. However, I would also suggest that it was, well, that's a bit delicate down there, so I can't imagine how that would go. Badly, all right? But I have to say that I can kind of understand their disillusionment and disappointment, because the longer things go on, the more male and female become less able to meet, to chat. I've done videos about this dating site thing before, and it hasn't got any better, you know. But what I have noticed is that people have given up. They've driven apart a lot more, and people get on the dating sites for a couple of reasons. It's either just to feed their ego, oh, he liked me, carry on, or they get on there and they think it's too much hassle, which, to be honest, it is. And the longer you've been out of the running, the more of a deal it would seem to get back into the running. And the longer you live on your own, the more you realise that you've got actually a set of standards and requirements, because you've managed to make it this far, right? So which means you can make it a bit longer, you're not going to die. So with that in mind, you can actually start setting some standards, rather than, say for instance, somebody who's been involved in lots and lots of relationships and never been out of a relationship, who doesn't probably think they can hack it out in the wild world without a partner. There are people out there like that. I think I was actually near enough one at one point, but whatever. I managed to exist on my own to such a point that life's okay. However, I do believe that men and women are pushed apart. I do believe that everything is geared up that way. And I do believe that people are too afraid to approach each other these days. And because of that reason, that people are spending longer and longer on their own. Now, I'm looking at some, what I would consider to be nice, happy, normal people that I know in my personal life that are single. And I can't for the life of me think why, because I think they'd make a lovely partner. But for whatever reason, they've just opted out. Now, there was a thing called MGTOW, and that was men going their own way, because men were getting such a raw deal that, you know, you bring everything to the table and then you lose half of it if it went wrong. And there are women out there that have decided that there are men out there that are such players that they've just given up. But it is what it is, and we do desperately need to reverse what's been done, if possible, and literally get people back together, because it's the very beginning of building a community. Let me explain why. What the fuck have they dropped here? It starts with man and woman together, okay? Then man and woman make friends with other men and women, okay? And then the community is, you know, you go out couples, you meet other couples, you network and stuff like that. because on your own you're less likely to bother, but if the woman drags you out or the man drags the woman out, you go out and you might be surprised when you meet people. But being on your own isolates you a lot. There's so many people in the community that are isolated, and it's not a good thing. And I can't help but think this was part of the plan. Now people have called me a conspiracy theorist, and I'm happy for you to do that. I truly am. I think that's an honour and a privilege to be given that name. But I truly believe that to break community, you had to start at the nucleus of the community, which is the family, which is man and woman. So how do we reverse this? This is the question, because I can't answer that, because I've got to the stage where I'm incredibly lazy and I'm making zero effort. Because also, with life being okay, you think, I don't really want to go down that road again, fall in love just to fucking fall in love with a nutter. But I'd like to think my taste was slightly better. But as we've mentioned before, we've got the problem now with people being fake, men and women. We've got fake pictures, fake profiles. When you go and look at their Facebook, it looks like they're literally living the life of Riley, that everything's great. But you know that's not the case, because you can see these people, they go, great photo, big picture, happy smiles, and as soon as the camera's gone down, they go back to being miserable and all just disappear. You remember the old days? Sat around the kitchen table with your parents, right? You would all pay attention to each other and you'd have a conversation. If you put your arms down on the table, my old man would slap you, right? You had to hold your knife and fork properly. Nowadays, you'd be lucky for them even to eat around the table together, and if they did, they'd all be on their fucking phone. It's amazing. And even when you meet up with friends, you don't mean to, but we're so addicted to the phone, we just pick it up. And we've got a lot of work to do to try and reverse that. I mean, when you see, say for instance, people from Islam fuck off down a mosque, they don't get down on a prayer plan and look at the phone. They do that and they don't take the phone with them. You look at other communities and they've managed to hold their shit together a lot better than we have. Our community, white people, and you said it's the same for black people in the UK as well, and some Muslims. The communities have been affected by everything around them. TV, internet, whatever. And all of these cancerous, poisonous programs that all these different places push, because they have to, because if they don't, they get a black credit marking from a certain organisation that pushes degeneracy. So they've got to push this shit, but they don't, but they do. So they do, and the kids pick up on it. Take TikTok. If you look at TikTok in, say for instance, China, it won't let you post stuff from China that's degenerate. Won't have it at all, right? It's always promoting stuff of people who are designing stuff, great dancers, great carpenters, great with their hands, great technical stuff, all of that stuff. They'll post all of that, but they won't have you posting all the shit that they actually push in the Western countries. And it's actually designed to make you believe that Western countries are full of baseless, degenerate slappers, wank stains, useless cunts, and people that really shouldn't have been given any airtime, right? That haven't got any great amount of talent. Not all of them, but quite a lot of them, right? And it's just there to just devalue the West, and I hate it. But anyway, back to dating. Put in the comments if you've heard of people marrying something other than a human, and let me know just how that is. And also, let me know what you think to dating. We've talked about this before, but I don't think any of us are any further forward. And yet you do hear of people finding love. But I think also at the moment, the dating apps are nothing more than a fuck fest. I truly believe, because I know people who are a lot younger, who literally just go on there for the rinse. And I'm like, really? I got a lot older. I mean, years ago I was driven by that division. That part of my anatomy drove me a lot harder than it does now. And I have to say thank fuck it doesn't, because that would be a problem. Anyway, that's it. I'm going to jump off. By the way, for a while we're going to be live streaming on Revel or Rant, and the other two, which would be Revel or Rant, Simon Evans and Man Up, because YouTube have decided to take the piss, and I mean take the piss. I've asked them what the problem is. I asked them on Saturday, and I'm, by the way, trying to live stream direct to YouTube. I'm not using a third party or anything like that. It's direct to it, and it won't happen. And they said, oh, there's nothing wrong with our side. But they put some incredibly smarmy comments to me and basically sent me a kiss after a heart. rubbing it in. Now, if I actually put that stuff on here, I'll get done, because that's a private chat between me and YouTube. But it is in other places, because I had to show it. But it is what it is, and they are having a laugh. And I spoke to a certain Brian Harvey about this, and he said they did it numerous times with no explanation at all. Could still upload videos, could still comment, but just couldn't live stream. Now, was it because of last weekend when I was going to do a big live streaming weekend? Did they do it because of that? Did they do it for other reasons? Did they do it because my call-ins are, well, pretty lively, okay? And they get a lot of interest, and they also get people talking. Is it because of that? Because, I mean, when you look at some of these other mainstream channels that have got millions of subscribers, and when you look how many people engage with it, you realise that nobody's watching this shit anymore. Was I becoming a problem? Well, if I am, good. But one thing's for sure, YouTube, I'm never going to go away, alright? And I'll just live stream on the other YouTube platforms. And if you take them away, you're just backing up what I say. And don't forget, you probably think you're being clever, but the last time we went and did a live on the smaller channels, and we said we were going to, we got the same engagement we did on here. So you're actually building up my other channel. So thank you for that. But just don't think I'm going to go away, and don't think by taking away my live streaming ability that I won't live stream. I'll just move sideways and live stream, and I'll still get the same engagement. So you've achieved nothing. What you have done is back up what we think. So there you go. Anyway, have a good one, everybody. I'm now stopped and parked up. We're not going to be going anywhere for a while, so I can turn this off. I'll see you in a bit. Wait a minute. Prove a point. I'll see you in a bit.